You say you're hardworking. You say you're a hardworking, ultra productive masculine man, but you still cope. You may not admit it, and you may actually not even realize it, but you do cope. I could tell you right now that running every single day is a fantastic way to build more discipline. And you would say, no, I don't want to run and do cardio because that will mean I'll gain less muscle and I may even lose some muscle because of the running that I would do. Or I could tell you that eating protein bars, eating protein crisps, protein ice cream, even having protein shakes is also cope. And that you should be eating as much unprocessed whole food as you possibly can. But you would say, no, I need that extra protein. It really helps me get to my daily protein intake every single day without having to eat too much and stuff myself. Or I could tell you that you don't need to watch a single bit of YouTube, you don't need to intake any bit of information, and you can just work all day on what you need to work on without trying to gain more knowledge and information because you already know enough. But you would say, no, those videos I watch are actually really informative and they really help me, and I need to watch a bit of them every single day to make sure I'm set straight, whatever. Everything I mentioned is cope. And so very clearly, I'm going to explain to you how to understand if you're coping with what you're doing. And I will preface anything I say with that any sort of disagreement with what I say is going to be cope, because I know I'm correct, and I'm not saying all this from the angle of being a saint, being the man who has never done anything wrong, never coped in his life. I have certainly coped as of very recently, and perhaps will cope in the near future. I'm saying this from the angle of, I want you to be better. I don't want you to cope, not do as best as you can, all because you think a certain way. I want you to learn from my mistakes and do better than me. So in this video, I'm going to explain very clearly how to know if you're coping with what you're doing. And so firstly, all coping means is dealing with something difficult. Which of course means that some coping is going to be good. Like if you lose a beloved family member, you're going to have to cope because it's difficult to just overcome that. And so you're going to have to deal with this difficult situation as best and as healthy as you can. But by extension, you could also be coping on things that are quite easy to overcome, or that should be easy, but they're too difficult for you because you're simply too weak. And so you cope to either not overcome them or to make something easier, which just means that you're actually taking a shortcut from what you actually need to do, and you're not developing and becoming the best version of yourself that you can be. So what I understand coping to be, with the latter example that I gave, is making any sort of excuse for hard work that you need to do that will be beneficial. Because you could take the running example that I gave in the intro. Yes, building your cardiovascular strength and your muscular strength at the same time means that you won't get the best of both worlds. They kind of conflict, and it means that you won't be able to become as muscular as fast as possible, nor have the best cardiovascular health as fast as possible. But you lifting and running at the same time would be incredibly beneficial for your health and your discipline. And the benefits of both being that your health improves, you still gain muscle and at least maintain your muscularity, and also improve your discipline. And those positives far, far, far outweigh the negatives of not gaining as much muscle as possible, and perhaps working on both taking up a little bit more time. The positives far outweigh the negatives, but you're going to cope and say you don't want this negative, even though doing it would be ultimately beneficial. And even eating things and snacks that are high in protein is also cope, because you're coping with the difficulty of not eating sweet things every single day. Because of course you were used to eating snacks all the time whenever you felt like it. And so when you're on this stricter diet to gain more muscle and be more healthy, you don't get those sweet things. And so you would cope and you would eat something sweet, but get something that has protein in it. And then eat this literal chocolate bar that has 20 grams of protein and say, no, it's okay because it had protein in it. All that is you dealing with the difficulty of not having sweet things every single day. And the biggest coping that I did, that I realized, is that I thought about posting YouTube shorts months and months and months ago. Everybody says that it's a good way to grow your channel, to gain exposure and get more eyes on your content. But I always told myself that, no, I don't want to post YouTube shorts because I don't want to attract the type of audience that has a short attention span. Because of course I want my viewers like you to watch these long form videos that are going to be much more beneficial than watching YouTube shorts. And so I put it off for the absolute longest time, because purely for that reason. But then I recently came to realize that even if I attract some viewers that have short attention spans and wouldn't watch my long form content, even if 1% of all the viewers who watch my shorts start watching my long form content and start making a change in their lives, that is worth it. Even if it takes a disproportional amount of time to make YouTube shorts and then help less people than if I posted long form content, that is still worth it. The hard work that I would put in is worth that little positive. And I could give endless more examples of coping, but I really don't need to. You certainly know what you should be doing every single day. Of course it gets difficult, you try to cut corners, you try to make it easier for yourself so it's less mentally straining and effortful. But even after all that, you're going to think about it all and you're going to realise that there's no shortcut to it all. You will have to face the difficulties and challenges every single day the same. And any sort of coping that you may do is merely a short-term solution. You know that you should be working hard. You shouldn't waste time doing things that don't get you closer to achieving your goals. You know you shouldn't eat junk food or eat processed food that just makes you tired and makes you feel sluggish. You should eat clean, whole food, not waste your time, be productive, work hard, discipline yourself, take care of your body by exercising, take care of your mind by learning new things, reading, being mindful, journaling, meditating, be masculine, help people who are less fortunate, take care of your loved ones, take on responsibility that makes the world a better place, and do that consistently. You know all of that is good, but you're going to try to make up excuses so that you don't feel bad for not doing those things. It's just cognitive dissonance. You can't have two conflicting ideas in your mind at the same time. One of them has to be wrong. So if you know that you should work hard, but you feel kind of tired and don't feel like working hard, you cope by saying that I don't actually need to work that hard because I worked quite hard yesterday, and so I made up for the work that I'm not going to do today. Every single time you don't feel like it, your brain will try to cope, but it is up to you to set yourself straight and stay like that. Maintain this discipline to keep doing the right things and not coping. And if you want to learn how to work hard and not resort to the bad habits every single time you feel a bit bored or you feel like you want to do those things, click and watch this video right now. Put in enough time and attention because that will make anything into reality.